Hello, I'm Vaishali Kohli and you're watching NewsX. Now, former MLA and JDU Mokama candidate Anant Singh has been sent to 14-day judicial custody hours after he was arrested in connection with the murder of Jan Suraaj party supporter Dularchand Yadav. He will be lodged in Patna's Beur jail. Police also arrested two other persons identified as Manikant Thakur and Ranjit Ram, who were also present when the incident took place during the election campaign on Thursday. According to the post-mortem report, Yadav died due to a ruptured lung and multiple rib fractures during the commotion in Mokama near Patna. The incident took place while Yadav was campaigning for Jan Suraaj party's candidate Piyush Priyadarshi. An autopsy ruled out gunshot as a cause of death, sparking political tensions ahead of Bihar assembly polls. Patna Senior Superintendent of Police Kartikeya said that the initial probe revealed a clash between supporters of two rival candidates, after which Yadav's body was recovered. FIRs were filed by both sides, and during the investigation, police found that Singh was present at the spot along with his associates when the crime unfolded. Singh, a multiple-term former MLA whose wife Neelam Devi currently represents the Mokama seat, has also been booked for model code of conduct violation as instances of his moving about in large cavalcades made headlines. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has sought a detailed report from the district election officer over the incident, which occurred amid the ongoing Bihar Assembly election campaign. The poll body also ordered the transfer of Patna Superintendent of Police and action against three other officials, taking a stern view of violence in Mokama involving the killing of Yadav. All right, viewers, so I have my guest joining me. I have Alok Mehta, Editorial Director, India News, Zoom. I'd like to go across to Mr. Mehta first. Now, Mr. Mehta, what do you really feel about this case? Your opening comments, please. Mr. Mehta, am I audible to you?
Yeah, please. What I feel, Vaishali, I feel that this time this is a very, very historical election because after 20 years, there is a challenge for Nitish Kumar. And the Jan Suraaj party is also new in the field. That's why I feel this is a very different kind of elections. But unfortunately, what is happening? You know, Anant Singh or Suraj Singh, number of people were very well known about their past, what they were doing and what the Bahubali, what we call it in a very sophisticated language. And judicial system is such, our election system is such, that even person is charge sheeted or is not jailed for 3 years, then he can contest the elections. So these incidents, what I think is a very, I hope and wish that there will be no such incident in the next 15 days. Because, you know, I have seen, our guests will also tell you, and we have seen in 90s, 80s, there's so much fighting, not only the bombs and the rifles and everything, the looting. So this incident is nothing new for me, but at least it's very unfortunate, especially he was from the ruling party, Anant Singh. It was very controversial, but earlier he was also with the RJD. That's why it is very interesting that he was campaigning for Jan Suraaj party. It gave a message for Prashant Kishore that he is also keeping such people. Even Dularchand Yadav was also very controversial. That's why I'm saying this is not nothing new and very unfortunate he died. But because of the infighting, road rage started, you know, number of places. And this violence, now we talk about the Bihar. What happened to Donald Trump and somebody shooted him? I think this type of thing is always happen in the very big leaders. And that's why I see when we talk about India, always blame what is happening here in one election, one incident. These are not such a very important, but you see what we have seen in the Rajiv Gandhi period. That's why I'm saying he was also campaigning in Tamil Nadu. So these kind of elections in fighting or the terrorist attack or this attack, that's why I think the police must be more forces will be there, and there should be a judicial inquiry will be there. Already he was sent to jail for a 15 days judicial custody. So there will be probe, and we can't say who is responsible. You know, these kind of fighting always depend on evidence. Earlier also he was in jail, Anant Singh, and then again he released, and now he's contested election. Earlier he was independent, he was with the RJD. So these kind of people, And we used to publish or talk about it. I've written it a few days back also, last week, in Sunday Guardian, that this kind of bahubali is a very unfortunate, the whole election system. And that's why one should review every time. We talk and discuss, but afterwards everybody forget about it when they come in the power. Especially.
You know, Mr. Mehta, I was reading about Anant Singh, and you're right, you're absolutely right, because the man that we're calling quote unquote Bahubali, viewers. Now, in the 2020 Bihar Assembly elections, I'd like to tell you that Anant Singh won the seat as an RJD candidate, but was later disqualified after his conviction under the Arms Act in 2022. So, Mr. Mehta, the point really that you're raising is, how do we call such people Bahubalis? But now I want to go across to Sanjay Sahay, who's a former IPS officer. Now, Mr. Sahai, my first question to you is that, you know, there are a lot of gray areas in this case. The more you read about it, the more darker it gets. So what would you like to say? What do you think really happened there? Mr. Sahai, am I audible to you?
You'll be talking about the grey area in this case. Certainly, there are a large number of grey area in this case, but more important than that, I think this whole of Bihar, where whatever my earlier panelists had to talk about it, comparing with Trump and lots of other issues, I think that itself is a grey area. Rashtriya Janata Dal, 160 candidates are there, 122 with criminal records. Bharatiya Janata Party, 118, 77 with criminal records. And JDU, 137, 53 with criminal records. So let's not compare Bihar with any other place. Criminality and criminal activities have been completely normalized. Whatever might be the political party, it is basically a revolving doors which happen, and if the political party does not have the capability to support that sort of a bahubali or a criminal don or whatever you call it, then he goes as an independent candidate, and there also he wins. So after this person, this don, Chote Sarkar, so he was convicted in 2022, and then his wife becomes the MLA. After that, he goes through the revolving doors and finally is a JDU candidate, and whatever JDU and the present dispensation in Patna have been trying to do, and with great difficulty they have been able to arrest him last night. You see the whole criminal sort of a situation there. I saw one of the videos where his body was being carried in a tractor. Now the sequence of events have happened in this manner. First, there has been some amount of fist fighting or physical fight and assault which happened. After that, somebody shoots, and this gentleman is injured in his ankle. After that, mostly Thar has been run over him. What does it talk about the nature of elections, nature of governance, nature of the police administration and the general administration? Then it is left for you to decide. As far as the moral code of conduct, I've seen model code of conduct since 1991. Elections till around, say 5 years back. 40 vehicles moving in broad daylight with complete impunity. It is just unimaginable. There are lots of aberrations which happen in most parts of this country, undeniably. I've handled elections in Chhattisgarh also. But this sort of impunity under normal circumstances is something very, very abnormal. Now the point is, their criminality, leave aside what is happening in the courts and where the law stands. As the law stands and as per the model code of conduct, I sincerely fear that things are not happening in the right direction. So they will be certified that elections were free and fair. That's point number one. That the expenditure was within the limits. So broadly, this is the direction, and I think the whole ecosystem, somehow because of their indifference and variety of other things, and couple of officers have been transferred here and there, that is not going to make any monumental difference. And had this murder not happened, things would have been proven hunky-dory, and everything has happened in a pure copybook style as far as the general election is concerned, and we would have been told that there is no violence, so everything is fine. The other side also, Suraj Ban and his wife, it is the same story. One side 28 cases, other side 10 cases. As per the statistics in the public domain, the assets also are like that. Someone having assets of 100 crores and liabilities of some other crores in a place where I think 6,000 is the per capita income. We are seeing Land Cruisers, Toyota High Cross, Defenders, and a variety of other things, and where police is not able to provide protection. People are moving openly with bouncers. And this is a free and fair democratic election that is being conducted, and that will define the course of governance and the course of polity in this country.
All right, now I want to bring in Advocate Gurmukh Singh Arora, who's a lawyer from the Supreme Court, joining me. Now, Mr. Arora, there's a very important point that I want to raise here, which is that, Yadav's post-mortem report shows that he died of cardiorespiratory failure due to shock caused by injury to the heart and lungs by a hard and blunt substance. But the post-mortem report is also saying that it was a case of murder. What is your opinion on this?
See, before we come specifically on the post-mortem report, I would like to tell the audience that what is this crime all about? See, a murder is a crime which is not only a crime against an individual or a victim's family. It affects the society at large. So in this particular scenario, an individual, and not only the individual, but the society at the large is affected. Now, talking specifically about the post-mortem report. That post-mortem report specifically says that there was also a bullet which ran through that gentleman's ankle, and that could not be a reason for his death. And adding to that bullet, there was a very heavy substance which was put on his chest, which led to all those fractures and the cardiovascular failure. Now, this initial part has to be investigated. Now, people calling it a politically driven agenda, I would like to state that why individuals are arrested in a particular case. There are a few factors on which the police officials specifically search and relay their arrest, which specifically says that an individual whose custodial interrogation is needed based on certain facts. Now, first fact, which is, now I would like to elaborate those facts also. The first fact in which a criminal antecedent is always seen, whether that individual who is, tendered as an accused, whether he has, antecedents or not. In this particular case, that individual had a lot of antecedents. Now, the second part which comes is whether that individual was evading the arrest or not. Now, evading the arrest specifically, what through news channels, what we have seen is that that gentleman is caught through some other village, which the news channels and the police officials are trying to say that that individual was evading that arrest, and per se, because of the role attributed to him. Now, the role which is attributed to him will per se be a part of investigation, whether that individual who's arrested has motivated his killing or was he actually involved in killing that individual. That is per se the work of the police, and the police is working on it. Now, the other part is, which is in criminal jurisprudence, the most important point is whether an individual who is laid as an accused can influence the investigation or not. In this particular scenario, we all know an individual who is, fighting the elections has so much influence over at large over the individuals. So, keeping this in mind, I've also seen the interview of the investigating officer Kartikeya Sharma. He specifically said that yes, there are chances wherein the individuals who are attributed as the accused can influence the investigation. So, keeping all this in mind, we have to particularly see that the arrest now has also led to a judicial order, because unless before this particular time the individuals were saying that this was only a politically motivated arrest, but now since it is also supported by a remand order, this fact per se establishes the fact that yes, the judicial officers are also of this point that yes, remand is very important in this particular case to unearth the actual facts of the controversy and to unearth the actual parts and see whether on which particular things this murder has been alleged.
All right, now I want to get to Neeraj Kumar, who's a spokesperson of JDU. Mr. Kumar, now your comments at this point is really something that we're looking at, because what do you have to say about this case? There are a lot of gray areas here.
First of all, I want to speak in Hindi.
Sure, Mr. Kumar, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Hindi में बताइए.
देखिए, मोकामा मेरा बर्थ प्लेस है और ये स्वाभाविक है कि 2005 के बाद इस ढंग की एक पहली घटना हुई मोकामा में, वो भी टाल के इलाके में। उसके पहले हमारे यहाँ 149 मर्डर हुआ था, 13 ओनली FIR किया गया था, बाकी सब पुलिस FIR होता था। लेकिन ये इंसिडेंट हुआ, इसको कोई इनकार नहीं कर सकता है। अभी मैं सुन रहा था, जो डेमोक्रेसी के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, जिसको पार्टी के स्तर से ऊपर से सोचा जाना चाहिए। अभी बता रहे थे सहाय जी, संजय सहाय जी का मैं सुन रहा था, उन्होंने जो बताया बिहार के बारे में, अभी जो ADR की रिपोर्ट, नॉट JDU, नॉट RJD, नॉट कांग्रेस, 76% क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड के लोगों को RJD ने टिकट दिया, BJP 65, कांग्रेस 65, LJPR 54, JDU 39, आप 27, BSP 20%। जो क्रिमिनल केसेस जिनके खिलाफ पेंडिंग है, ये डेमोक्रेसी में, जबकि चुनाव आयोग लगातार कहता रहा है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी बार बार कहा है, तो अपने हमारे जैसे एक राजनीतिक कार्यकर्ता की भूमिका यही होती है। जैसे मैं खुद इस इलेक्शन पूरे शेड्यूल के पहले ही मैंने ये कहा कि कोई क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड का कैंडिडेट रहेगा, मैं उसके इलेक्शन प्रचार में नहीं जाऊंगा। जो भी मेरी हैसियत है, जिताने हराने का नहीं है, लेकिन मैं साथ नहीं जाऊंगा। दूसरा सवाल है कि जो सीक्वेंस इस घटना का रहा है, वह भी बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है, चूंकि पोस्टमार्टम यह तो एस्टेब्लिश हुआ ना कि कोई पॉलिटिकली इस सबको संरक्षित नहीं कर सकता बिहार में। और जो अभी सहाय जी बोल रही है, एक एडवोकेट बोल रहे थे, तो मुझे जो जानकारी है, पटना के सीनियर SP ने यह कहा है कि इसको पुलिस रिमांड पर लेगी तीनों को, और रिमांड के बाद, रिमांड क्योंकि आफ्टर इलेक्शन ही होना है 6 तारीख तक, तो यही स्थिति है। और ये सरेंडर नहीं है, अरेस्टिंग है। और पूरा सीक्वेंस जब आप देखिएगा, यह सही है कि मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट का उल्लंघन हुआ, जिसके आरोप में जो भी लोकल SHO थे उन लोगों पर कार्रवाई हुई, ASP पर कार्रवाई हुई, SDM पर कार्रवाई हो चुकी, परमिट उन लोगों ने दिया था, रूरल SP का ट्रांसफर किया गया। ये सब निर्वाचन आयोग ने, इलेक्शन कमीशन ने इसमें ये दिया। और जो पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट आया, पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट का इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ उनके परिवार के लोग भी वहां थे, कि उन लोगों ने कहा कि हम रहेंगे, तो कहा गया कि रहिए आप। उसके बाद वहां रहने के बाद जो टीम ऑफ डॉक्टर्स के द्वारा किया गया, उसमें यह एस्टेब्लिश हुआ कि इनकी हत्या मैंने जो हुई है, उसमें इंटरनल इंजुरीज भी है, जो बाहर से दिखाई नहीं दे रहा था। तो स्वाभाविक रूप से दिन में यह किया गया, क्योंकि रात में तो करना सही नहीं था। तो पूरे एकदम ट्रांसपेरेंसी के साथ इसको करवाया गया, और CID की टीम वहां भेजी गई, उसने इनका प्रेजेंस देखा अनंत सिंह का। अब आपका सवाल यह हो सकता है कि अनंत सिंह को आपने टिकट क्यों दिया? तो अभी पहले इसके पहले आलोक मेहता जी ने भी बोला था कि RJD ने भी इनको टिकट दिया, कांग्रेस पार्टी ने भी इनके परिवार को टिकट दिया। लेकिन ये सवाल, दोनों में डिफरेंशिएशन, दोनों में एक डिफरेंस है। ये लोग इसको ग्लैमर देते हैं कि भाई ये क्रिमिनल है, ये गुंडा है, इसको टिकट दो, और अगर हमारे यहाँ कोई एक्टिविटी अनलॉफुल करिएगा तो आप पर हम एक्शन लेंगे, विदाउट कोई कास्ट क्रीड के। एज फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं बता रहा हूं कि अभी रितलाल यादव है दानापुर से, जहां एक्स मिनिस्टर रामकृपाल यादव जी लड़ रहे हैं। अब बताइए, उसको टिकट, जो जेल के अंदर में, भागलपुर जेल में, उसको RJD ने टिकट दिया। सुभाष यादव, मैंने लालू जी और वे खुद जाकर के वहां कोडरमा झारखंड इलेक्शन में बेउर जेल से ले जाकर उसका नॉमिनेशन करवाते हैं। तो क्रिमिनलाइजेशन ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स एक इंपॉर्टेंट एजेंडा है। इस पर गंभीरता से पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के इंटरेस्ट से ऊपर उठकर एज इंडिविजुअल हर आदमी को विचार करना पड़ेगा। नहीं तो ये तो एक पक्ष में बताया, करोड़पतियों की संख्या कितनी तेजी से बढ़ रही है, तो पॉलिटिकल वर्कर का तो रेलिवेंस नहीं रह जाएगा।
नीरज जी, पर मुझे आपसे ये पूछना है कि जैसे हम बात कर रहे थे, वो तो डिस्क्वालीफाई हुए थे पहले भी, क्योंकि वो आर्म्स एक्ट के तहत उनके घर में से AK-47 राइफल भी बरामद की गई थी। तो उसके बाद फिर टिकट क्यों दिया गया उनको? पहले की बात कर रही हूँ।
उसके बाद उनको कोर्ट ने इस मामले में बरी कर दिया। अब ये तो जुडिशियरी का मैटर है, उसमें हम तो कुछ कोई बोल नहीं सकते हैं, कुछ उस पर हमारी बात बोलने का कुछ अधिकार अथॉरिटी भी नहीं है।
जी
पुलिस केस हुआ, ये पूरा इन्वेस्टिगेशन हुआ, एविडेंस के साथ हुआ, सब कुछ हुआ, लेकिन अब भाई जुडिशियरी का अपना मामला है, जुडिशियरी ने ही सजा दिया, उसी जुडिशियरी ने इनको कहा कि नहीं आप सजा मुक्त हो।
Ji Neeraj, now I want to go across to Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer. Mr. Sahai, now you've heard what Neeraj Kumar is saying. I'd like you to respond to that. What do you feel about his comments?
Yeah, I think none of these things hold any ground. There is a all-permeating criminality which is being defended in variety of ways, sometimes because of the judicial proclamation, somehow sometimes by transparent police officers. See, there it is very, very evident. 40 vehicles have been moving day in and day out, and it was being tolerated by the model code of conduct by government of Bihar, which is currently being run by Election Commission of India, because all executive powers get suspended during the elections. Now giving ticket, now one of the simple things which I can tell you, that after his conviction, again this fellow's wife gets. On the other side also it is the same story. I don't know the details of every single constituency in Bihar, but the other side also Suraj Ban, whosoever the Don is there, his wife is there on the other side of the story. So where do we have had broad daylight murders in Patna. There was some, I think, murder which happened inside a hospital. So there are variety of things happen unless we accept the fact that the reality is grim and that the police officials also and the government is struggling. And there is also an issue involved that nobody wants to give the winnability part of it. See, end of the elections, any political party needs to win those number of assembly seats to be of relevance. Now you take off JDU or you take off Congress or anybody, 30-40 seats means you are in a position to be a kingmaker or king yourself. And the dispensation in Bihar has always ruled, primarily with not being the majority party, with smaller number of seats also. They have been able to get the upper edge. So I don't buy all these arguments. These arguments are put forth to basically explain variety of things. My criminality is better than his criminality is worse. Whatever Lalu Prasad did somewhere else, See, end of the day today, and what Mr. Neeraj Kumar has been telling, and that is there in the public record, that nearly 49% of the candidates of major political parties come from criminal backgrounds, and out of that also vast majority, they come with very serious offences. Now what the judiciary is doing, not doing is a different story altogether. But the reality is, can't the political parties decide as they will not give seats to at least people who are charge sheeted or people who have been convicted. After that, whatever happens in the judicial trial. If I am right, I think.
Absolutely, Mr. Sahai, I'll have to interrupt you, but we're running out of time. But you've made a very interesting point there that, once a person has been convicted, why are they being given seats? And with that, I'd like to thank all my guests for joining me on the broadcast. And viewers, that's it. That's a wrap from me on this bulletin. Stay tuned to NewsX for more news and updates.